if you want to know the man that changed the entire way that the UFC dresses, this is the guy.
This is Warrior X Talks, where you will witness those who have lived the warrior's way live. And during these episodes,
you'll understand.
This is a brotherhood.
What is a man?
We get paid.
This is a brotherhood.
We're going to have a conversation about packaging. And interestingly enough, we're going to talk about it through principles, but we're also going to talk about it with how you dress. How you dress. Part of the process of being able to build yourself into a new place is to build yourself into a new package. See, I walked away from suits and I walked away from nice clothes in 2008 because to me they were a symbol of the that I had become.
And I think building a personal brand is so important with everybody. And so my personal brand is I don't really care about, I never thought about price. Everybody always thinks, oh, I want the, what can I afford? I want the cheapest thing I can get. That is a big mistake. And so I set out to create a business that you could get value. I think everybody wants value over price. You think you want price, but you don't. You want value. And it doesn't matter what level you're at. I think that everybody in this room has got their own personal brand. I want to keep on saying that. Everybody's got your own personal brand. It's very important that you recognize your brand. And if you don't recognize your brand, put some thought into it, sit down and take some time and write it down and say, what do I want my brand to look like? What am I doing? What am I, putting out there to the world? And when I first started my business, I was always looking for, my clients are not, I work with over 75 billionaires, all right? It's a lot of billionaires. I started off with one, then I got two, then I got three. And by the way, it wasn't like I was trying to get billionaires. I'm not collecting billionaires. But what happens is, when you start, the people you hang out with, you start emulating them. And they hang out with others like them. So if you're hanging out with your buddy from high school that's the grocery store stalker at night, you're not going to get much from that. He might be a fun guy to go have a beer with, but if you want to advance in your careers, you need to start hanging out with other people that are advancing in their careers, okay? So it's who you hang out with is very important. My business is a lifestyle business. It's always been a lifestyle business. My friends are my clients, and my clients are my friends. And so it's really important that I don't even have to think about that. It just happens, okay? And so, look, I'm down here.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Yeah.
And so Garrett's become a friend. He's a client. We're doing this things together. We're helping each other. And I think that there's two types of people. I always say this to everybody. I'm going to tell you a couple things, but there's two types of people that I think of two types of men, okay? It's somebody that cares about how they look in the morning, cares about their appearance. It's super important. A guy that gets up in the morning, it doesn't matter if you wear a suit or if you wear a pair of shorts and flip-flops, okay? You get up in the morning, you look in the mirror, you brush your teeth, you look right, you comb your hair, you put your glasses on if you're wearing glasses, and you look in the mirror and you go, I look pretty good. That guy can make a paper bag look good, okay? Anything, you throw it on because he's owning it. Then you put a $10,000 suit on a guy that doesn't care because he's got all sorts of money, and you can make it look like he slept in it. Those are the two different people. Who do you want to be? I want to be the guy that cares about how I look in the morning. Doesn't mean I have to wear a suit every day, because a lot of us don't. It's not appropriate for our businesses and our careers or whatever. And then there's another thing I'd say to people. Two guys walk into a room, okay? You're at a restaurant, a bar, two guys walk in. One guy's wearing a polo shirt and a pair of chinos. The other guy's wearing a suit. Who's the first guy you look at?
Suit.
It's always the answer. You always look at the guy in the suit. Even though the guy in the suit might be working for the guy in the polo shirt, right? But you don't know. You just think, that guy's a baller. So you can always, you should never worry about overdressing. You can always take your jacket off, you can take your tie off and dress down to the occasion, but it's very hard to dress up to the occasion if you're not prepared, okay? And so I think that as you guys are building your brands and continue building your brands, it's very important to have focus on your image, your personal image. And I think that's where I come from.
How many of you know right now that in order to pull the outcomes you're in, as a psychology, you're going to have to repackage you? Raise your hand. Right? Because if you look at how you've shown up as a leader in your company, with your teams, that has delivered the current result that you have. Period. When I recognized I needed to go to CEO status in my world, there was a lot of that changed. And what I mean by that is I had to leave hustler, I had to leave entrepreneur, I had to enter CEO at a very high level. And there's two modes. When I'm in hustler, I'm wearing my Warrior Polo, I'm wearing my Lulu pants, and I'm wearing my Vans. And then when I'm in CEO mode, it's a very different feel. And then there's a mix in between. What I never recognized was that most of why I pushed away packaging, the car I drive right now, Lamborghini Aventador, that car, I don't even remember. I'm in the car most of the times because the car is not making me who I am. The car mirrors who I am. There was much of my life where I was reaching to buy it to make me become something. Now I package myself so that people can see who I am now. I'm not the guy I was, but I don't have to have the car to be that guy. So your packaging matters, but with clothes, I had this issue. I didn't recognize what the difference was to me in walking out of the house with my wife and being and nearing the king that I had become. It was a very awkward thing for me. Like I felt awkward. David, talk about what you've seen happen to men who were powerful men, but who started packaging themselves the way that they actually felt about themselves. Like their outside mirrored what was going on the inside for them.
I always ask everybody 4 questions, okay? And I ask them, so how many suits do you have in your closet? And this is gonna make sense in a minute here why I'm doing this. How many suits do you have in your closet? And usually guys that have been in business for a long time, they'll say, oh, I got 25 suits in my closet. They think that's gonna scare me away, and I'm like, okay, great. Next question is, how many suits, and by the way, these questions, the answer to these questions, you can write them on a napkin and turn them over, they're all about the same. So, how many suits do you actually wear of those 25 suits? You guys can answer these yourself too. And you're gonna probably say, 4 to 6, all right? And then the next question is, okay, of those 4 to 6 suits that you're wearing, how many do you feel like $1 million in them when you're wearing them? And that answer is always, the last 1 or 2 that I bought. And I say, okay, great. What do those suits look like? Oh, I got a navy solid and I got a gray pinstripe. And I said, okay, great. For our conversation, you've got a navy suit and a gray pinstripe suit. Because everything in your closet should look amazing. You should feel like $1 million and everything in there. Otherwise, it shouldn't be in your closet, okay? And a lot of guys will say to you, I don't wear suits. I say bullshit. Everybody wears suits. And so it's about the personal image again. You got to make sure that when you're branding yourselves, that you understand that once you start understanding that clothing does make, you hear the old saying, clothing makes the man? Well, it kind of does. And once you understand that, it'll elevate you because, and by the way, you have to wear the clothing. You can't let the clothing wear you. If you're embarrassed about wearing something because it's too bold of a pattern, don't wear that, okay? You've got to own it. So it's about owning what you're doing, understanding it, digesting it, and you're not thinking about it, but it will elevate your game.
If you want to change what you're producing, which we've just worked on, you have to commit to changing the package that you are delivering to the marketplace.
Now, if you're listening to this, that means what you just watched resonated with you somehow, some way. And now you want to learn more. So here's what I need you to do. Go to warriorcon4.com right now. Cause when it comes to training married businessmen with children, let me tell you something. We run this, we run it, we run this, we run it, we run this, we run it, we run this motherfucker. You gotta fight every day, every night, for the rest of your life. It's the warrior way. WarriorCon4.com. WarriorCon4.com. WarriorCon4.com.